It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. And do we have a lot to unpack from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 2 premiere. Guys, you know how this works. I obviously can't do this on my own. So with that, I have two special guests joining me. If you haven't already, before we get started, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And welcome our two very special guests. Let's start with... Actually, let's just bring them both up. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi. How's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good. I like the black hat and the black. I feel like...
I think we all
those bitch stole my look moment
to be on your channel.
It's only appropriate. I get it. No winter mitts over there, Kempire? You're not on brand today?
What's it again?
Winter mitts.
Is that not what they call them? Gloves?
Winter mitts.
And how's that on brand?
For Salt Lake City.
I should. Damn it! Next time.
Okay.
I have to go first to dig those things out.
Okay, fair. All right. So, guys, again, everybody, welcome into the chat. I always like to start off by asking, what did you think about this premiere? Kempire, I'm going to start with you. Did it give you everything you were looking for? And what would you give it a 1 to 10?
It was a solid first episode. And as I was telling Jason backstage, I feel for those that were on the fence last season about Salt Lake City, they may have not enjoyed this episode, but I thought it was a solid start to kind of reintroduce us to these ladies, what's going on. And of course, it was very, very smart of them to start off with the whole arrest day. If I had to rate it, I'm going to be generous and give them a 7.
Okay, fair. Jason?
I'm going to have to say it was a solid premiere for me. I was, maybe I like Salt Lake. So yeah, the first season for me was a little bit slower, especially at times than I liked. But I feel now after the rookie season, especially like the reunion was like, I think we talked about this, Kempire. I'm not sure. At some point, the reunion was almost better than the whole season. And at that reunion, they dropped the caricatures of the housewives they're trying to play. And now I feel like I know them. I'm ready to dive into this season. Everyone's coming with a little more confidence. Of course, they're new houses. So I'm excited. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, an 8. I have to say, for me, I'm probably going to give it a solid 8 as well. And I'm not trying to copy your number here. But I learned this term today, which I might have been behind, but I did DJ Richie Sky's channel, and we talked about Salt Lake City a little bit, and he told me that the cold open was everything to him, and I didn't really think about it, but I am so happy they opened with the Jen Shah arrest footage, even though we've been seeing it all week, the last week and a half, we've been watching it, so we've all seen it multiple times. Like, I think I've watched it like 20, but with watching it, I'm happy that production did not wait and make us wait until the middle of the season to get this. Like, this was such a great way to start out. And I was surprised at some of the friendship dynamics within the group. And Mary Cosby came out of her closet and was finally doing something. So I can appreciate that.
Boy, did she come out of her closet.
Yeah, and she looked good.
Yeah.
She looked like she had a whole glow up.
I was saying this on my recap on my channel. I didn't think I would miss Mary Cosby until I saw her, and then I was like, "Oh, I kind of missed your kookiness.
What would you?
I missed your." I don't know. I missed her, and I'm happy to see her back. I'm really curious to see where that's going to go, and also what other things come out about Mary Cosby and her church.
Oh, gosh. See, and I was saying this earlier. I feel like you remember when Kim screamed across the limo at Kyle Richards and she's like, "You stole my goddamn house." I feel like Jen Shah stole Mary Cosby's goddamn season, because this was supposed to be her season for us to hear about the cult and the allegations. And this was all going to be focused around that 100% for sure, because there's a scandal looming over here. But while this is brewing, Jen Shah happened to just go get indicted. And she took all of Mary Cosby. I'd be sending her a fruit basket and say thank you. But don't worry, your season will come.
Fruit basket.
Yeah,
look, I don't think Mary has to worry about this season being owned by Jen. I think she's going to get just enough. just enough, because the
so
whole
too.
situation is going to be probably years in the making.
I agree. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. All right. So we start off this episode with Lisa Barlow heading over to Jen Shah's house, and we get the conversation where Jen Shah was letting us know that her husband Sharif almost left her. He actually had a divorce attorney contact her because after 20, I believe she said 27 or something like that, plus years of marriage, he's had enough. He's had enough of her Shah-amazing behavior, lashing out, splashing camera people, getting in people's faces, throwing glasses. I mean, it has to be exhausting. No offense, Jen, but to be married to Jen Shah, like it has to be exhausting a little bit. Am I wrong? Kempire, you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Well, first of all, I think very much like Erica Girardi, it's very convenient timing for him to want a divorce or them to be talking about divorce right now. Let's not play naive, because we do know that she had to know that the FBI were on to her. Did she know when or where? No, but she knew something was coming because people were already being convicted and getting plea deals and whatnot before this. So the audacity of her to come on a reality show beforehand, well, that's Jen Shah, because she's just continuing very, very bad behavior. Coach Shah is just as bad as Erica Girardi, if not worse.
But then again, hold on. Oh, I want you to elaborate on that comment. But
yeah, no, I'm curious.
I'm curious too. But just to be fair, he doesn't have anything to gain if he divorces her. Like, it's not like he can divorce her and he doesn't, because he can't take half of the assets. He can't take half of the feds are going to take everything anyways. And then whatever they don't take, she's going to end up paying in legal fees. So their bank accounts are depleted regardless. Now, if you decide to divorce, that's just because you're moving on with your life. Whereas
this
Erica
would be the
Girardi,
cherry on top, don't you think? I mean, I do understand what you're saying about, going through that whole last season and seeing how she reacts. And this, even in last season, it was mentioned that she does have this problem with throwing, temper tantrums and flying off the handle. And it wasn't all because of her father's death, but I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. And sending a letter or anything from a divorce attorney, that just shows how serious he is about doing it. So obviously he already came to that place in his head. I don't know. This would be the cherry on top. I would be out.
It just seems very interesting to me, though, to go from having issues to all the way to a divorce attorney sending you a letter. Everyone was asking after everything that went down with her getting arrested, where is Coach Shah? Where's Coach Shah? Coach Shah was with his other woman down the street. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Listen,
Allegedly.
in my family, we do this divorce thing for a sport. So, okay. Alabama camper, what happened till death do us part? LOL. I guess he doesn't want any part of prison. So the thing is he can't technically go to prison for anything that Jen Shah has done, because as of right now, if they had anything on him, he would have been indicted. And when they bring her into court and they're questioning her, he cannot take the stand. He is exempt because he's married to her. So really, unless, he wants to end up telling all and pillow talk that they have behind the scenes, whatever, he better stay married if he doesn't want to take the stand. Because if he gets divorced, guess who's probably getting called in for a deposition?
And that's probably what she told him when he offered her a divorce. She was like, really?
She's like, you want to go? You want to go to court? No? Then sit your ass down.
But also, despite all of those little elements in regards to money, maybe it's very different in regards to Erica Girardi and walking away with money. And maybe people are viewing it very differently because Erica Girardi is a woman. Interesting. But the other side of it is, if he leaves, this lifestyle leaves her, the whole situation changes for him as well. Now he doesn't have to deal with her anymore. But if there's money owed, they might both be liable.
Right. Restitution.
Yep.
That's true. That's why Yandy didn't want to get married on Love and Hip Hop, because she didn't want to be.
Go.
I love Love and Hip Hop. Okay. That's why
shocked.
she didn't want to get married to Mendices, because she didn't want to get stuck with his restitution. Listen, I'm here with you, Yandy. And also, Coach Shah, you might get stuck with restitution. Sorry, man. Okay. So Lisa Barlow walks into the house and she's seeing the Shah Chalet 2.0, this $9,000 a month, beautiful ski chalet, stunning, great. We know it's not yours, yada, yada. But Lisa Barlow, in good Lisa Barlow fashion, loves everything. I get so frustrated watching her, and I don't love Lisa Barlow, but I like Lisa Barlow. But watching her every single scene, she walks into every room. Oh my God, are those curtains? I love that. Oh, those shoes? Love that. Is that a line?
By the fourth time, though, you're like, is this for real? And then she continues. You know, so maybe that's just...
That's obviously just her. We can't, I mean, she's not putting on an act. She just loves everything. The only thing I don't love is the fact that she loves it all. I mean, shit.
Again, and I'm bringing this back to Coach Shah because I'm giving Coach Shah the equal same treatment that we give Erica Jane Girardi, is that he's lived, you telling me they're living, even if you're paying rent, almost $10,000 a month rent. You're not getting that from his salary. We looked up the salary.
Well, he makes over $500,000 a year, so he's making good money, but that's what's actually on the books. So
I thought it was like 2 something.
No. That it's increased over the years. Actually, I don't know. I think it was maybe
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, you have to think about how many millions of dollars get invested into this football team every year. So in football, it's different. Like people, they pour money into their babies, their pets, and their football. It's a whole different thing. Okay,
this is true, but still, even with $500,000, that is not a lot of money. Remember, they have 2 children. They have a certain lifestyle. You saw that closet, all those name brands.
Yeah, the closet.
The math is not mathing.
Well, and also there's a lot of work that went into that.
Her confessional looks, I mean, a lot of them, their confessionals look really good. I don't know what filter they're using, but we need it.
They killed it on the confessionals. But getting back to it, we kind of navigate over from there, and we hear, we hear that Jen Shah and Meredith have this riff going on. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. But then we go over to Meredith's house, and Heather Gay shows up. When they became all buddy-buddy, I have no idea. Must have been after the reunion. But hey, they're talking. They're in good standings. We had a boring conversation. How are you and Seth? Me and Seth are good. I see him 50% of the time. Heather's like, my daughter's going to college. Nobody cares. Fast forward. Unless, did I miss something? You
did miss something. You know what you missed?
What?
Meredith's body language telling us her and Seth's relationship is not real. It's over.
Do you think so?
I don't.
I do.
I don't. They were just no. The only reason I say that is because Jason and I reached out to her when she was down here in Palm Beach, because she was traveling around with Seth, and between filming, they were going everywhere together. So they were doing it's not like they were doing appearances; they were doing vacations. And I have a feeling, unless they're really good with like that Kourtney Kardashian, Scott Disick, let's be together but not together, but be together for the kids. Their kids are too old for that.
Yeah, you think?
Yes.
Look, the body language when Heather said to her, "Are you okay with the 50% of the time?" Her body language. If you watch that scene again, I literally no,
not that body language, Adam.
Look, this is she before she said yes, she did this, and then she did this. The body language was saying to me, no. There is something very fishy, and mark my words, you all going to be eating crow in a couple of seasons, if not next season.
Okay, Renna, relax. Jason, what did you get from the body language?
I don't think I was paying too much attention just because the conversation wasn't, this is when we come back into a franchise, every season we kind of get the quick look. What's everybody doing? Like it's a new day or some crap.
You need to watch it twice?
Huh? No, but I'm just saying, you get these little clips and stuff, and then when it got to them, it was like, oh, okay, there's Meredith and Heather, and I'm not even thinking about anything they're talking about because, like you said, it was kind of boring. So you just kind of, I was more focused on her new house because I think it fits her a lot better than that old 80s Beetlejuice looking house that she had before.
Even though it's still a rental, I agree with you, and I love the views, but I didn't get that from Meredith. I feel like she just had more on her mind when she was having this conversation. We have to remember she lost her dad in this episode too. And I think she was probably not there for the filming. She's like, okay, I have to do this scene, but what's going on with that? That's where I think that her body language was coming off. But if Kempire is right, I will eat crow as well.
Oh, this is on camera. Record. Someone save this.
Yes. This is on camera. And so was this, unfortunately. But it was. Oh, and also this, which is not unfortunate. But that's okay. All right. So we end up kind of migrating over and we see Mary Cosby is starting a podcast. Now, Mary is so funny to me because we hear that Robert Sr. has taken off to Florida, and because of COVID, he doesn't feel comfortable taking a plane back home. Okay, there's a few things here. One, the amount of money that you spent on a Chanel purse, and even Robert Jr. last season spent on a Chanel purse for his little girlfriend at the time, cost more than it cost to charter a little Sprinter bus in order to take your happy ASS back to Salt Lake City. So that's not an excuse. You could have got a little Sprinter bus, you could have got a rental car, you could have got a driver, and it would cost less than Mary Cosby spending on her designer clothes. Robert Sr. just wanted to quarantine alone. Somebody read that body language.
I think the mannequins in her closet wanted to quarantine alone.
Yeah, they wanted to be left the hell alone too.
I don't know. I found the moment of her podcast, you know, like again, like I'm all here for Mary's kookiness. I'm really ready for it this season. I want to see what happens. But you know, even in the podcast, whoever was running her like engineering thing, you know, when he started to pray and she stopped him and said, let me show you. And then she started praying. And I was like, that's kind of rude. Like, do you interrupt people when you pray?
And
is there a right way to pray to whoever you're praying to? Let me show you how. I don't know.
There is.
Well, remember, she's the leader of this church.
They look at her though. This is such an odd dynamic for me because you're watching, and last year she's like crying and she's like throwing her hands up in the air. And like I said earlier, I went to a couple times this church in Tennessee, and it was called Lewis Chapel Baptist Church of God. It was my first time ever going to church, and I was a young kid, and the preacher had his hand up in the air. Preacher had his hand up in the air, and I'm not being disrespectful. I just don't remember. But he was speaking in tongues. He was falling on the ground. He was crying. He was healing the children. There was a ton of shit happening here. Okay. And I remember looking at Dad like, you took us out of Florida for this? Because I didn't know and I didn't understand it. And he was passionate. Now we've seen Mary passionate as well. But then when this poor man tries to come on your podcast, which we know you're not paying him, you're going to shut him down and tell him he's being too passionate. This is how you do it. And then you start crying when you're given the same prayer. No.
We talked a lot about this last year where Mary doesn't really have that respect for her members. She treats them like they're below her because she thinks she is above them. And that to me, it's not like a pastor, a bishop, a leader, but I'm going to try not to pay attention to that so much, even though she's probably going to show it to us anyway. I'm going to try to pay attention to her kookiness and just trying to enjoy a little bit of her this season.
I'm just trying to like her because no, I am just because of all the allegations that came out, which that's exactly what they are. They're allegations, but of her, actually, some of them aren't. Like
right? We heard audio.
Yeah, there's audio of her telling people, inside of her congregation, how like garbage they are and how if you're not giving money, pretty much if you're not giving money to me, then you need to get out. And then she kicked a woman allegedly out on the side of the road for talking back to her. This is the leader of a church. I have so many questions.
But there is a point. I mean, the way she treats people and the allegations that have been made and the stuff that has surfaced, there's a point like who's crazy now? The leader or the followers? You know what I mean? If you don't like it, leave the church. She's obviously crazy. I would never go to her church. I don't know. At that point, I don't know.
And, when I was talking to Richie, he was like, well, she, the church was shut down because of COVID. So they started kind of this podcast. And I was like, she didn't go to the church anyways. We heard this. The first lady of the church was not at the church because she was at the penthouse in New York City. She was getting procedures done because she had bunions on her feet. This is news. No, she did. She did. She had bunions on her feet. That wasn't news. That's hereditary. Dan Cosby, her family member, came on and shared that with us. And I'm not backing it. But she was getting different things done. And he was like, when it was Mama's church, which that was what they called her grandmother, there was a different kind of energy and light to the church and like a sort of love there because she was always there. And he was accusing Mary of just wanting to be a part of it for the money. And he was saying that she allegedly has a boyfriend off to the side. And he was saying that before the grandmother passed away, she kicked Mary out of the church for alleged drug use. So there was a lot of stuff that came out and a lot of reasons why I'm looking at Mary kind of sideways and I'm giving her the same Ramona eyes she's giving us in the confessionals. Just saying.
Well, she confirmed that drug use in this episode.
Yeah, yes, she did. By the way, guys, thank you for the super chats and super stickers. I appreciate you. And also, I believe it was Dana Lee right here said he could have taken an Uber X. Yeah, he could have for the amount she's spending on the bags. Ali the Mama Bear, Lisa's voice reminds me of a 90s Valley girl. Nails on a chalkboard. Yeah, so does
100%.
And Dana Lee said, mention it all. Yeah, we're here to. If I can remember it, enough of it. I'll mention it. I'll talk about it. But for Mary, I'm hopeful that we get a different side of her this season and that I grow to like her. As of right now, I'm still like, Mary, let's move on because I'm not loving talking about you.
Well, according to Heather Gay, we're going to learn a little bit more about Mary's relationship with Robert Sr. and why he was away for 6 months.
Yeah, well, I can tell you why. Because this was an arrangement.
It's that boyfriend.
Yeah, it's the boyfriend. But moving on, we end up meeting our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City newbie, which I'm so happy that they introduced someone new, Ginny Nguyen. Now, Ginny came over here on a boat from Vietnam. Her story is actually really sad. She was put into a refugee camp, and then eventually she made her way over to California, and she started with nothing. She started with nothing until she met what she calls her butterface husband, who's a chiropractor, who just provides that lavish lifestyle. Now, I'm so happy meeting her because it's the best part of Lisa Barlow was introducing Ginny Nguyen, because I think that she's refreshing. I think she's funny. She's quirky. Her kids are cute. Like I thought the daughter, when Lisa was asking her the question, this got me, and I'm surprised it's not a meme all over Bravo right now. When Lisa said, how's school? How are your grades? She's like, it's good. And she's like, are you getting all A's? She's like, yeah, that's why they call us Asians, not Bejans. I was like, she did not just say that.
I loved it.
Yeah, she said it. But now we said it. Oh, there's her and her, what she calls butterface husband.
I mean, she's right.
Okay.
Based off that picture alone.
Okay. But how are you? I'll start with you, Kempire. How are you feeling about our newbie Ginny?
We didn't get a lot of her, but what we did get of her, I enjoyed. I can tell she's going to bring a lot. I can tell that she's, because we heard that she was elevated to a housewife because Jen Shah couldn't film as much. Based on what we've seen, I think she was a housewife from the gate.
Yeah, There's a lot of footage. There's a lot of footage of her. And I hope that we continue to see more of her because I think she's a breath of fresh air. I like her. I just hope that we don't start off liking her like we do with a lot of the other housewives when they come on to a new season. And then all of a sudden midway through, we're like, no, again, casting department. What the, I'm
going to call it now that it was a good casting decision. I think just like Kempire, what you just said, just the little taste we've gotten of her, it's great. I think it's going to be really, really good. I mean, this woman has such a background. And I think that's something that you're missing from some of these other ladies too. I mean, this woman is resilient. She's been through it. So I want to see how that plays out. I like her family. I think she has a really cool dynamic with her family. And I really want to see more of her.
I also love the fact that her and Lisa have a friendship of 10 years.
Yeah.
Some of these shows.
Just like Meredith.
Yeah. They a lot of these other shows, we see them piece people together and they've only met each other for the show. No, these are actual friendships that have lasted over a period of time.
I agree with that. I agree. I'm hoping that we get to see a lot more of her, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the moment where she tells Meredith and Jen to get the f*** over it when they're out in the snow. So I think there's a lot of good coming. But speaking of a lot of good and a lot less cake, let's talk about Whitney Rose. Okay. We get to meet Whitney's stepkids, which is kind of an interesting dynamic because her stepkids are literally they look like they went to high school with her. So that's exciting. But she's a breath of fresh air to me because she's young, she's vibrant, and she's kind of a hot, drunk mess. Well, at least in this episode she was. But she's also a businesswoman. Let's not forget that. She discussed business before she fell to the floor.
Well,
do you want to
say cake fell to the floor?
Yeah, that poor cake. That cake didn't hit the floor 1 time, not 2 times,
Oh my
3
God.
times. That cake didn't even look like a cake at the end of it. It looked
Adam,
like,
you carrying a cake sober, the same thing would have happened.
Ooh.
oh my gosh, Kempire, I have to tell you a story really quick. One time I was carrying shots out, and I have the video of it. I'll have to send it to you. I was carrying shots out at Tom Tom, and we're walking out, and you had to carry them on these little boards where they just sit on the board. It's like setting me up for disaster because I'm like a baby giraffe in real life, like trying to walk and hold something at the same time. That's not going to happen. So I'm walking with these shots, and you have to have a sparkler. So in this hand, I'm holding the sparkler. On this board, I have 10 shots, and they're like, woo, woo! And I'm like, happy birthday. And I go to hand the sparkler to the guy, and he went to grab the shot, and I leaned over. All of the shots go in his lap, and I look at him and I go, oh no. So I didn't know what to do. And my mind just immediately thought, release the sparkler. And I dropped the sparkler in his lap. Then you see flames shooting out from under the table. The shots are everywhere, and they're recording it and then tagging my boss in it. I was like, I said to Jason that night, I was like, I think I'm fired.
And
I
you
have to be fired after this. But I wasn't.
Wow.
Okay.
No, at those places you have to do a lot to get fired.
Almost burn someone's.
I mean,
It's not enough. It's not enough.
it's not enough. I like that. All right. So Whitney, are you liking her so far this season? Are you happy to see her back? Jason, I'll start with you, and then I'll go to Kempire.
Yes, I mean, like I like Whitney. Everyone knows that. I think that we're gonna get a great season from her too, because she knows when to say stuff or just like put something in there that's like just enough to get people like riled up. But she also provides for me kind of like a little comedic relief, a little like lightheartedness to the show. I mean, last year she dealt with so much with her dad. I don't think we're gonna see too much of that this year. I think she's gonna be kind of like that.
More business.
She's not going to be a main focus. I don't think, but it's really nice to have her on the show.
And trust me, she falls in the bottom of the totem pole right now because it's Jen Shah, Mary Cosby. We still have our eyes on you, and then we'll get to the BS friendship. Okay? That's how we're going to work this. But okay, so moving on, we end up navigating over to the igloo with the worst audio ever, and Heather Gay orders Brussels sprouts, which I could only imagine in that little hot box smelled like awful. I just want to talk about this. Heather Gay said this. Thank you, Queens of Bravo. I'm taking over ordering because these skinny bitches don't know how to order. If I wait on these ladies to choose, I'm going to be splitting a side salad with Mary, and that's not the lunch I want to have. And then I love that she does bottomless Prosecco. Heather Gay is my Sunday fun day spirit animal. Yes.
Heather Gay is going to be the MVP again for season 2, I think, if she doesn't end up in jail.
Well, we'll get to that too.
Oh my gosh. But that to me was probably, along with the whole Whitney scene, they had so many moments of comic relief, which we need. So many of these Real Housewives shows have gotten very, very dark. And I know Salt Lake City is going to get there, especially with Jen Shah's situation and the cult situation. But we need those light moments. Say it again.
I said alleged.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But so I like these light moments, and Heather, she really is stepping up to the plate especially when it comes to the commentary.
I agree.
I agree 100%.
Jason, you like Heather?
Yeah, I really like her. I wasn't sure about her at the very beginning of season 1, but the more and more, we got to know her, kind of like Whitney, the same thing. She just grew on you.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that while some of the other women are trying so hard to be these characters, like you said, Meredith, maybe like Lisa Vanderpump, Jen Shah looks at like some of the villains that we see on like maybe Vanderpump Rules, Stassi Schroeder or something like that. And she tries
Lisa,
to be,
Kyle.
like, yeah, exactly.
Kyle vibes. I don't know if it's just the hair or if it's just like sometimes the hypocrisy.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Heather Gay is just like, I want a meatball on a stick. I don't want to be a part of this religion. I want my daughter to go to college and be a good time girl. And what's up? Get your lips done. I'm like, well, we haven't seen one of you before, so you're kind of like a little anomaly. I'm here for it. I like her. Well, anyways, getting into this conversation in the igloo, we find out where Meredith's dad unfortunately passed. So we're sending all the love to Meredith. And it was kind of sad to see that not only did Meredith lose her dad, but also Mary Cosby and Heather Gay over the span of a year. So they kind of not bonded over that, but they had a moment. And you see Whitney Rose, I don't really know where she was in her head in that moment, But
I'm sure
until-
thinking, too, her dad's not in the picture right now. So
Oh yeah.
I think that was a good group of that was like kind of a real moment.
Hey, Jason, thanks. Yeah.
I got Whitney's back, that. So
Yeah, I know you do.
And honestly, only the real thing that Whitney was probably thinking of was, what am I going to order next?
Nothing. The whole point is she didn't order shit. That's why Heather was like, can we get 2 Wagyu burgers? Can we get 2 Reubens? Mary, you want a side salad? Okay. And a nice cold glass to shut the hell up for her. So salad and that, we're going to give that to Mary. And then over here, Meredith, what do you want? Okay, you want to eat Jinshaw? Good. So she's going to eat Jinshaw alive when she gets her moment. Now we know what's for lunch. What is the topic of conversation? Well, it's the hypocrisy, because Lisa Barlow wants Meredith Marks to have this conversation with Jen Shah. Jen Shah has been super active on social media, allegedly liking these, what they're calling homophobic tweets, and liking tweets that say stuff like, Brooks Marks is a sissy bitch, somebody needs to slap him. Liking tweets that say the word twink, liking tweets that are not in favor, and then going on Watch What Happens Live saying pretty much he's fortunate that he got to see my hoo-ha because he's never seen one in his life. And if you're going to start now, at least you get to see the golden hoo-ha, but making fun of his sexuality at the end of the day. Meredith is not here for it. And we've seen this with multiple housewives in the past, like Teresa Giudice. She's a little bit more vocal, but you don't talk about someone's kid. Doesn't matter if they're 25 or if they're 10. Look at Caroline Manzo. Go talk about Albie. Shit's not going to happen.
You know why this was so gross to me? Because she also has kids that age. And like, just as a mother, if you're doing that, I think that's gross. Second of all, everyone can have any kind of opinion about Brooks. And I'm not standing up for anyone here, but I'm just saying he, like his mom said, has not revealed anything to her, to Meredith. He hasn't revealed anything on social media, on to us on the show. So yeah, liking those things, speculating, saying those things, just some of the words, it's nasty. She's nasty. It makes you have 100%.
She's such a troll on social media. Not only is she making those problematic, liking and tweeting about Brooks, she's doing the same situation with her own legal battle. So she has I'm surprised she even has children because her behavior on social media is so immature.
Which Heather Gay did call that out. She did call that out. And also, like Whitney said, what if you like tweets like that about Lisa's sons? How would Lisa feel? Yeah. Or what if Jen Shah liked tweets like that about Lisa's sons and then you were friends with Jen Shah? I don't think Heather Gay and Whitney, going after Lisa's character, saying that you were cold to me during the season, saying that you didn't really want to get to know me, alluding to the fact that Whitney Rose could be a swinger, saying, that we actually knew each other in college when Lisa swears that she didn't. That is so surface. Who cares? Because guess what? You guys signed up. You're the one who's getting paid the money. You have the contractual obligation. Brooks Marks, he's kind of collateral here. He's a part of his mom filming the show. He's not getting a kickback. Sure, he launched his 2-piece jogger line that made it to Fashion Week and tied it 10 different ways, the same 2-piece. He did that, but he's
Whitney
not.
was wearing it in this episode.
I saw that. So he did something, but he's not getting a kickback from this. So I don't think he should be in the same line of fire as. I just don't. I really don't. Especially
he is getting a kickback though. He debuted his line on this show.
Right, but how much do you think that line is actually making? Let's be real.
It was sold out.
Okay, Lisa Rinna. Her stuff said sold out when she launched it in like 30 seconds on Instagram. And it said Rinna Beauty sold out. And then all of a sudden you saw Daily Mail, Radar Online.
He still profited though.
Is Lisa Rinna trying to pull like a Kardashian PR stunt and say that it's sold out to make it look like it's in demand? And I was like, I don't know if she is, but if she is, it's actually pretty smart.
Is it?
I mean, I don't know if Rinna Beauty's thriving. Maybe I don't know what's going on with Rinna Beauty. I hope it's thriving. Somebody's got to pay the mortgage.
Oh, okay. It's going to have to really thrive in order to pay that mortgage.
Well, Rinna Beauty, everyone. Go pick it up today.
Oh,
okay.
She's not paying you. Don't advertise her.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to ask both of your opinions. Kempire, I'll start with you. Are these situations the same? Do you agree with Lisa Barlow that even though you feel hurt and I understand where you're coming from, I feel hurt too, so you can't say I feel any less hurt because yours is more important? Or are you Team Meredith over here being like, girl, she just said she went to college to you or with you. She didn't go on social media and like homophobic tweets of your son, allegedly.
Yeah. I don't think it's really comparing apples and oranges in this particular situation. I get where Meredith is coming from. I'm not team either one of them because they're boring to me, to be honest.
Oh, but your team...
Yes, come on, Mary Cosby. I mean, when it comes to entertainment value, they're really not that interesting. I'm not that invested in their fight. You know, some people were comparing it on Twitter to, you know, a Bethany and Jill. And I was like, no, we knew Bethany and Jill. This is their second season. We don't know them. And even in their first season, they were so beige that we didn't know. We weren't that invested in any drama.
Did you call them beige?
Beige, yeah.
Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah. Why?
What the hell?
Can you just go out there and call people beige? And by the way, Lisa Barlow has earned her orange. She is orange, and she gets a spray.
Well, I'm not talking to their skin color. I'm
No,
talking
that's
about their personality.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. Hey,
Sometimes you got to spell it out.
I'm sorry.
I'm here asking the questions, okay? That's all. Okay. Well, you're not team anyone. Jason?
I just, what I don't understand so much is why Lisa is such a proponent for Jen. And I don't understand why, if you have a 10-year friendship with Meredith and you're not really listening, even when Meredith was trying to tell her at the couch at that Shabbat dinner things, Lisa was like, I know, but if you sit down with her, would you be open to that? Would you be open to that? It's like, stop pushing it. You know, maybe stand up. Why is it so important for Lisa to have that? It seems like Lisa wants it more than Meredith and Jen.
Well, because she's kind of like the Kyle Richards who started the whole franchise by introducing her groups of friends. So I feel like she has to fight even harder to hang on to it, really.
I hope we see a good little fight from them. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Really?
I freaking love Jason. Agreed, Jason. Let me find a comment.
Oh, thank you. It's nice. People are very nice.
Well, I'm comparing.
I agree, Kempire.
I
was looking for a comment in favor of you, Kempire.
Oh,
but no one said I agree, Adam.
No, I thought. Wait, no, I love the fact you brought up, Jason, that there is this very similar situation that we're seeing here in Salt Lake City, like we see in Beverly Hills. Lisa Barlow is giving me Lisa Rinna of Salt Lake City. I feel like there is some connection. Why all of a sudden are you so defending this woman that you barely know against your bestie of 10 years, where you were crying about her marriage failing? It's very interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Did she invest in the telemarketing business?
Oh,
it's a question.
She invests in everything. Apparently, tequila.
She could have. Boxer Girl, not true. Real Housewives of Orange County started the franchise. No, that's not what I meant. But I understand that is the flagship franchise. I meant Kyle Richards was the first who got the original group of women together for Beverly Hills. So technically, Lisa Barlow, when they started casting, they started with her, and then through her, they reached out to all of these other people who she sent in to them. So that's what I meant by that. But thank you for being on top of it. Okay.
Which, with the addition of Jenny, I think she's done an okay job.
Okay. Well,
we'll see. Time will tell.
There's still Mary Cosby, so okay. Mary Cosby, I'm going to try. I swear I am. I'm going to try. I'm hoping to. I just can't make any promises. But once I'm loyal, I'm loyal.
She'll help you try, and then she'll help you pray, and you'll be good.
Well, I'm not stepping fighting for Temple Church.
I don't think you're going to be in love with Mary Cosby this season, especially if they're digging into the whole cult controversy allegations.
No, but I'm going to be watching it like, what the hell?
Like, I hope there's new revelations though, because I know you interviewed people from her family, so you know a full makeup of the story. I want new revelations based on what we've seen. There are no new anything coming from it.
Right.
But I think it's because it got overshadowed by the indictments. That's what I'm saying. I feel I'm getting side-eye right now. If anybody hold on. I want to shift the focus. If anybody should be getting side-eye, and guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. It just rolls off the tongue like Kempire's monologue. This person should be getting side-eye. Heather Gay made it to Watch What Happens Live for her first live appearance since becoming a Real Housewife, because she is technically a COVID quarantine housewife. She started off her season, and when it finished, finally a year and a half later, when they actually showed the first season, we went into a pandemic. So they did after the reunion, they did everything else virtual. And that just kind of is what it is. We haven't seen her. So she went on Watch What Happens Live, and she kind of stuck her foot in her mouth when she was asked questions. And I don't think, well, she stuck the bread in her mouth too, but her foot as well. When she was asked questions about Jen Shah and her friendship, she said Jen Shah's business, she always knew that it was unsavory. She just didn't know it was illegal. And then she also said she likes criminals, and she's not a fan of the big net. Andy Cohen looked at her like, do you want to
try to help her? He tried to help her a couple of times.
Yeah, he tried. Do you think at the end he was like, oh, you're going to get a lot of shit for that?
Probably. Because he knows. He's been in this business a while. He already knew. You know, he knows that everyone's going to be talking about it. Do I think that Southern District of New York are interested in Heather Gay? No. They have enough evidence. They don't need any more from her. Well,
like I was trying to say earlier, because by the way, guys, if you haven't, go check out Zach Peters' latest podcast. We were on it today. A lot of fun talking about Salt Lake City and Beverly Hills. But like I said to him, because he's a huge fan of Ronald Richards, Ronald came on my channel and said he has enough from Lisa Rinna that she said to be able to depose her if he wants to. Now, her attorney could argue that deposition, whatever the case is. Sure, they can challenge it. But if he had enough on Lisa Rinna, just basically based off of what she said on the show, and she didn't say a whole lot, but she said just enough, apparently, then Heather Gay going on Watch What Happens Live and saying, I knew it was an unsavory business.
Yeah.
And then she like corrected it. She's like, I just didn't know it was illegal. I'm like, Heather, shut up. Like, don't be like, just eat the challah bread, relax, girl, because you are going to just like, you're going to go straight from here to the courthouse. You keep going.
But remember, here's the difference. No shade to Ronald Richards, but that's Ronald Richards. He's dealing with a civil matter. We're dealing with a criminal matter. And as I said before, the Southern District of New York, they already have their evidence. They don't need to interview anyone else. If anything, they just need Stewart to throw her under the bus, which we hear he already is. So they don't. Heather, I know you're watching this. You have nothing to worry about. But going forward,
yeah,
I think it was just a verbal blunder. She's a businesswoman, so I think maybe she just saw some things that weren't, or heard them. I don't think she really knew exactly what was going on. But when you say that, right now, especially after you have a trailer where you're like, we don't want to be indicted. I don't want to, be a part of, and then you're on Watch What Happens Live, just open your mouth.
Kempire is giving me these vibes with that. Kempire keeps looking at us like this. And when I see that, I'm just looking at his spirit animal, and I'm like, this is what I see.
Oh, that is so not a spirit animal. Do not associate this woman with me.
Yeah, that's what you're giving me.
She was so lit there.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's either that, or I could say that you're giving me Robin.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
No. Okay. We're done.
No, I'm not to interrupt you, but the whole thing that Heather brought up and the way she described it, I don't really think it was a fumble on her words. I think she wanted, maybe it was a fumble because she was trying to hold back, but to say unsavory about someone's business, I don't know, girl.
But she also did well by coming back and saying, on the pod, like I had her on my podcast, we talked for an hour, and I'm a woman who loves business. I'm interested, and I know money doesn't just flow. And when she was explaining it to me, I was just thinking in my head, like, total Sutton vibes, red flags. This is not adding up. And now all of a sudden we know that there's going to be a moment where she's going to be sitting next to Jen Shah eventually after that Watch What Happens Live moment came out. And she's going to have this moment. It's going to be Jen Shah on the left, Heather Gay in the middle, and then Kempire on the right.
Kempire, they're right. But look, somehow Heather and Jen Shaw are still very friendly. Are we going to give them the same energy that everyone's giving Dorit and Kyle and everyone that's defending Erica? Because if anything, in this particular situation, Jen Shaw is the Tom Girardi, allegedly.
Well, I think it's just a little bit different. One, I think Jen Shaw's case it's her, whereas Erica is affiliated, right? So this is her, and it's criminal. It's not civil. And it's
worse.
Right, it's worse. But I think the women are going to be, I don't think any of them are going to ask questions. I think they're all going to be in fear. I don't think there will be one person asking questions. Whereas like in Beverly Hills, they're all kind of subtly asking questions within the group, but only one or two might have the guts to actually bring it up. And then there's only one really defending Erica. I think in this case, none of them are going to be asking questions because none of them, after the party bus got stormed, want any smoke from that. They're all like, you can keep that shit. I'm not talking about anything. I don't want to be indicted. I don't want to be deposed.
Well, luckily, Jen Shaw is a hot mess, and she'll make the season entertaining enough because if the ladies aren't going to be asking the questions, that's why Beverly Hills is doing so well, is because they're asking the question. They're having side conversations. If these ladies aren't going to do that, Salt Lake City, I wish you luck this season.
Yeah.
I agree.
The
problem with the questions on Beverly Hills is Erica's answers and her defensiveness and her,
yeah. No, it's true.
I don't like either of these women.
But also,
I really don't.
She looks at Sutton and she's like, if you ever call me a liar again, I'm going to come for you. And it's like hissing at the teeth. Jen Shaw, we see a scene where she's pointing like this in Meredith's face, letting her know if she had anything to do with her indictment, she's done. So they both have strong reactions. Now, I think it's total misplaced anger. I don't think Jen Shaw is not a stupid woman. Someone who was running an alleged telemarketing scheme and alleged money laundering, who's making millions of dollars off of the backs of hundreds of victims. This woman is not stupid if this is in fact true, which, mind you, she is right now presumed innocent until proven guilty. So I do want to say that. But it hasn't been found to be true. And I think right now she has the weight of all of this. She got called into the attorney's office. They told her that these charges carry a weight of 50 years in prison. She's looking, where do I place my anger? Because if I take this shit home and I bring it to Coach Shaw, he already almost divorced my ass. He's definitely going to walk out.
Well, look, she, yes, you're right. She is innocent until proven guilty, but God forbid the Southern District of New York brings charges against you. You better make a plea deal yesterday.
Well, she didn't. And now there's only one other person who gets to take a plea before her, or can potentially take a plea, who hasn't taken a plea. And like we said, Emily D. Baker said, Ronald Richards said, she by now should have taken that plea, because once everyone takes the plea, she has nothing. You have nothing to give us. So what we're going to give you if we find you guilty is time.
She's going to jail.
Well, that's not going to help her.
Don't seal her face.
Crazy mind.
It's not going to help the Botox either.
Oh, God. Well, she sort of foreshadowed it. In this episode, she talked about, I haven't gone to jail yet.
I mean, Shah Chalet 3.0 is going to look a lot different than 1.0 and 2.0.
Oh, have you seen 3.0? 3.0, they already moved out of that place.
Oh, then 4.0 is going to look a hell of a lot different. Okay. 4.0 is going to be different. All right. Well, with that, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button. We're almost at 50 minutes with about 650 in the room. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go around the room really quick and ask, starting with you, Kempire. I always like to start with Kempire because he gives me Rena vibes. Kempire, what are you looking forward to most? What are you looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Jen Shaw getting arrested.
Okay.
Well, no, the aftermath. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's really the only thing that I'm Mary too. I want to see what's going on with Mary in that church. But okay. I definitely am looking forward to how Jen Shaw navigates this on the show. I think she's going to be irresponsible and messy, which is great for us, but bad for her.
I agree. Jason?
I agree. I mean, listen, I'm all here for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So now that we've gotten to know these women, the rookie season's over. I feel like I know them now and a little more about them. I want to not just the Jen Shah stuff. I would like to see what Jenny is going to offer and just the kind of what's going to happen this season around the whole Jen Shah, drama.
I agree. Okay, I want to see what happens with Jen Shah and the rest of the drama that's going to play out. How in the hell they're going to accuse someone in the group for being responsible for the indictment? Who's coming out of the alleged cult, and telling us about it? Because I want to see that too.
Yeah, who's that man?
Allie, the mama bear, said, "Can y'all say hi, Hayden, for my son? He's homesick and is watching with me." Hi, Hayden.
Aw, hey, Hayden. Feel better?
Feel better? Well, you could just ask that. You don't have to send a super chat for that, but thank you.
Thanks, Allie.
All right. So, say hi to Aiden. Hayden. How did I just butcher that?
How did you?
Hi, Hayden.
Why are you?
Actually, my best friend in high school, their sibling.
Why no?
Hayden. Okay.
Why can't we see you, Adam?
His camera probably died.
Oh.
Okay, so
Adam, you didn't get the thing I told you to get.
it's coming in the
An
mail.
avatar?
So what happened, guys? So legitimately today, I did 6 pre-records and then this live and then a live with Jason, which made it 8, and then Zach's podcast, which was 9, and then I went live with DJ Richie Sky, which was 10 videos. Whoa. So my camera is like burnt out and I don't know what's going on, but thank God I have this like charger thing coming for it. So sorry guys, I did 10 videos today. My voice is going out and I just need some food.
Oh,
dang. Yeah. Or else Kempire's not
going to go get food with you.
I'm going to be this too.
You know
I'll never be this though.
I can't see you now because of all this shade.
Can't see you now because I'm living in the shade.
I can't wait for Beverly Hills this week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
All right.
I'm super excited.
Well, we're going to start and go around the room. I just want to assign Jason and Kempire both a couple of spirit animals. Some of my favorite people who I like on these shows. Jason, who would you be if I had to? I'm going to give you the Grand Dame. I'm going to give you the Grand Dame because I feel like you always try to sell us on something. Oh. And you're like, this is how it is. And I love this. And it's fabulous. And then I read these for exactly what you're giving me.
I feel like you're calling him a scammer.
No, I'm just kidding. And then for Kempire, I'm going to give you this today.
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. Guys, I can't keep torturing everybody. Adam, you are on fire today. Thank you so much. Jason, you better feed Adam. He sounds hangry. Yeah. Adam is classy today. Not a scammer. Okay. All right. No, seriously though. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. We have a lot of great lives coming up the rest of the week. We will be capping the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this Thursday. It's going to be a great episode. We're going to continue on the Erica Sutton feud. Well, and of course, pre-records on the way. If you haven't subscribed, get subscribed. Smash that like button. Kempire, can you feed us the monologue, please?
I don't know what monologue you're talking about, but if you're saying people can follow me and subscribe to my channel, Kempire Daily here on YouTube, where they get daily and consistent hot topics, they should do that. And I have a new episode of my podcast where you get shady and tea that I haven't shared anywhere else. Kempire Radio on all podcast platforms. Thank you.
All right. Oh my God, not Ramona. Sorry, guys. Jason?
You can find me. My channel is new. It's called Down with Jason. We cover anything from pop culture, definitely reality TV, but also royal news. We have a lot of royal things coming up. I know it's a little bit of a different audience, but it is a lot of fun. You can go subscribe at Down with Jason and leave me a comment.
All right. All right, guys. So make sure you get subscribed if you're not subscribed to Kempire and Jason at Down with Jason. I have both links attached to the description in this video With that, I am going to go eat so I'm not hangry. Bye, guys. I appreciate the heck out of you. And thank you so much, Kempire and Jason. Another fun live. And by the way, guys, this is all subtle shade. I'm just kidding. I don't think Kempire is Rena or Ramona. Jason does act like the Grand Dame, though. So I'm not saying
it depends what time.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.